guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Dell 4K 27-inch USB-C Ultrasharp monitor. But I think for this video we should probably just refer to it as the Dell Ultrasharp. Let's go. So I don't really have much experience with monitors or external displays in my past. I ended up getting a Macbook Pro 13-inch running the M1 chip a while back, and ever since then I've known that I wanted to get a monitor in the future, but I really had no idea what I was going into. So I ended up researching, and the Dell Ultrasharp was what stood out to me as something that looked good and met all my needs. And now that I have it, I guess I made a decent decision because this thing is pretty great. Alright, so as far as the unboxing goes, everything went pretty smoothly. The stuff was all packaged pretty well and had its own place. Inside the contents, first off, there was the cables. There's 4 cables provided. One was a USB type A to USB type C, an HDMI to HDMI cable. I didn't end up using either of those. And then there's a pretty short length USB type C to USB type C cable, which is kind of disappointing, which is a little longer. And lastly, a power cable with the power brick. Next, there was various instruction manuals, which I didn't end up using any of them because everything was intuitive enough to just assemble on its own. And lastly, the monitor, of course. So for the setup of this monitor, everything went pretty smoothly yet again. For the stand that came in the box from Dell, I ended up not using that because I had bought one off of Amazon previously. But from my first impression, it looked pretty intuitive and easy to set up. It just slid together and had a really nice clicking interlocking system with the monitor itself. However, it still had the mounting holes for a different monitor arm, just with 4 bolts that were also included, which is what I used to mount it to my monitor. Besides that, I clamped that stand onto my desk and got the monitor set up, which was very easy. I only had to plug in the power cable and plug it into my laptop with the USB-C cable. It was really quick and intuitive, no directions needed. I assume if you're using a PC or something else, you should easily be able to connect it with the other cables provided. I just didn't end up needing to use those. So setup, easy, and that gets a thumbs up. Alright, so lastly, let's talk about a few features on the monitor itself. Personally, I'm not too much of a specs guy or anything like that, and I don't know too much about monitors, like I said. But as far as the ports go on the monitor, it has a bunch of different ports. I believe on the bottom side, it has the power cable port, that USB-C Thunderbolt port, the HDMI port, and like 2 USB type A ports that you can plug into. And in addition to that, it has 2 easier accessible ports on the side, which are a USB type C and a USB type A. So it definitely has enough ports to support most of your needs. The other thing to mention is the navigation system, which are the buttons on the bottom side of the monitor and the power button. Personally, I've only touched those once, and that was just to press yes to turn the monitor on at the beginning. Besides that, I haven't touched them, but it seems like it's a pretty nice system where you can just reach right there and they're accessible, and you can toggle between whatever different settings you need to use on the monitor. Lastly, the color of the monitor, for me, it looks fine. It basically looks the same as my MacBook monitor, so I'm happy with it. I assume you could do some color calibration and everything to it if you wanted to, but for my personal needs, I could not want anything better. So everything on it is good enough for me. Okay, so as far as my final thoughts of this monitor go, obviously it's not perfect for everybody and it meets a specific needs for a specific group of people, and in my case it worked out well, but maybe if you're a gamer or something like that, it may not work out as well for you as a monitor that you'd want to get. As far as the pros and cons go, in my opinion, so the pros for me were, first off, the aesthetic. It has very minimal bezels that look very nice, and it's all blacked out, which goes well with my minimal aesthetic. In addition to that, it's a 4K display, or the one I got was, so it matches up with my M1 MacBook, so the displays are the same. Next, it also has a lot of ports, which is nice because, like I said, my MacBook does not have a lot of ports, so this adding so many ports helps out with plugging in SD cards and other various things, which I couldn't do before. And lastly, it was very simple and intuitive to use, and for someone like me who doesn't have much knowledge, as you could probably see from this video, it was helpful to just be able to set it up quickly and do everything without having to look up a bunch of directions and stuff like that. As far as the cons go, I didn't really have many. I was pretty happy with the monitor overall, but one thing that could be changed is maybe the thickness of the monitor. It's about like this thick, and I know it's kind of hard to ask for even thinner of a monitor, but with the monitor stand and that thickness, it just sticks out of the wall just a little bit more than I like it to, but I can deal with it for now. And another little thing is when I plug it into my laptop, it takes a few seconds to kind of connect and show up on this monitor, and then I have to sign in and close that laptop in order for it to be a single screen just on the bigger monitor, and all of that together takes just a little bit longer than I like, but I can deal with it. Overall, I'm really happy with the monitor, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Obviously, it wasn't very comprehensive, and like I said, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but I figured I'd give it a go, and maybe people who are like me and just want a second screen might have got a little helpful use out of this review. So thanks for watching. I hope to have more content of various types coming in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.